Holy, switching up the positions. This is Flight Check, Season 5, Episode Cat Teen.
Cat Teen.
We're back once again, talking all aspects of FlyQuest and LTA. My name, as always, is Sandy Toes, to my left and my extra left. Back with us once again, Noxwar and Curly Double Q and Noxcat, who
joining
has
us for the first time in
Special
quite a while.
guest tonight.
decided to perch right on that keyboard.
Yeah, I don't ask me to type anything. It's not happening.
There will be no
No
typing.
chatting from Noxwar today.
Yeah, this is just how it's going to be.
It's okay. I can still yap though. That's what
Oh
matters.
yeah, and I'm sure he can too. You know, when it really
Oh, I'm sure you'll hear me out from him at some point this show.
I'm looking
I mean, I'm
forward
sure
to-
he has a lot of thoughts from this final Super Weekend.
I'm looking forward to the cat yap in the middle of the show. just a random meow. LTA North Split 2 positioning phase. Wow, I hate that name. Wrapped up today. Super Week concluded. And Curly, I'm gonna take a victory lap here. I was right.
Yeah,
In case
yeah.
You missed it last week. I completely predicted how this weekend would go for FlyQuest. I predicted the Cloud9 3-0, and I predicted FlyQuest only beating Lion and Dig and dropping to Cloud9, putting FlyQuest in second place. Although I don't know, the jury was still out on who would be the other team. I think I was leaning towards Liquid, but they really have not shown up.
Yeah.
In a big way, especially after today's upset. We will get into that. We will discuss.
Was it 1-2 this weekend?
Yeah, 1-2. We'll discuss the implications of everything. But let's chat a little bit. Nox, you were gone last week. Where were you? Where you been? And how you feeling about being back?
I was what I like to lovingly refer to as Coltland, or aka Aggie Land, aka the land of A&M. My
Oh boy.
stepsister is a junior there, and so she had a ring dunk weekend, and she actually killed it. She was the fastest girl amongst everyone that was participating with her, and she downed her 48 ounces of beer in 30 seconds flat.
Wow.
I was actually kind of impressed. I'm not gonna lie.
Crazy.
I don't think I can
Crazy.
replicate that.
That's impressive.
What? That's a lot.
I definitely could not do that.
So, no, I'm glad to be back, though. College Station is not my vibe. It's, there's a reason why I call it Coltland. So, I'm glad to be back. It's been a busy week. It was a very nice Super Week, so I actually got to watch a little bit of League. I didn't quite catch Sunday, or what was it, Saturday's games or Sunday? One of the games I didn't catch, but I caught 2 out of the 3 days, so.
Well,
Nice.
depends. Did you watch FlyQuest win or lose? Because that'll tell us which day you missed.
I saw FlyQuest only win this week, so I missed the one match they lost.
All right. So we missed Sunday.
Yeah. I didn't watch a full game, but I caught parts of each game. So we'll just call it there. I did catch most of today's game, thankfully. And I think today's game was probably the best one. We'll get into that. But let's look over... actually, first of all, Curly, I gotta ask you.
Yo.
What's going on with you? How are you?
What's going on with me?
What's new in your world?
Oh goodness. It's pretty chill over here. Not much going on, and just been climbing League. You know,
Nice.
my esports season is done with that I've been coaching, and so I've been thinking like, you know what, let's get back on that ladder, see if we can get silver by one tricking Karma, and it's been working out pretty well so far. I finally got back up to bronze 3. It's been a minute since that happened, too long, but you know, if I take it a couple games at a time, I think maybe end of May could be getting back up to silver. Who knows?
Heyo, we're on the way. Could be a good time. All right, well, let's get into it now. The positioning phase is over, and we were saying right before the show, like, seeding phase was right there. It really was. Wow, that's a whole tale.
Yeah, he's loving. He's positioning himself. He's really living up to the position.
Well, it's probably better than him seating himself all over your desk.
This is a conversation about League of Legends in North America, guys. We promise.
Probably. But the round of best of ones is over, and I believe we will not have any more best of ones for the rest of the year.
The evil has been defeated.
Yeah, the evil that we created ourselves.
I don't recall any of us being Riot employees, but fair enough.
Well, yes. I mean,
Although, not to be that guy, but technically there are best of ones at Worlds for the first 2 rounds.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I know.
You are being that guy.
I am being that guy. I apologize. I've been gone for a week. I need to get it out of me. Just let me get this one thing out real quick.
Nox hitting the evil with a revive. Can't believe it.
You hate to see it. All right. Well, the round is over, and we can start talking about the results and the implications. So, from top to bottom, Cloud9, FlyQuest, 100 Thieves, Team Liquid, Lion, Shopify, Dignitas, and Disguised at the bottom, which means your groups are going to be in Group A, Cloud9, Team Liquid, Lion, and Disguised, and in Group B, FlyQuest, 100 Thieves, Shopify, and Dignitas. And I want to get y'all's take, first of all. We'll approach this from the FlyQuest perspective first, looking at Group B. I was actually a bit of an advocate for falling into the second place, the second seed to go into Group B, only because, sure, Lion has not beaten they did not beat a top 4 team, right, in any of the best of ones. However, they are the best of the bad teams. And they are the team, that I am just, would want to play in a best of 3 the least right now, out of all those, bad teams, right? So, I mean, for, Team Liquid, that's kind of a scary situation. For Cloud9, that's also, Cloud9 looks really good. But, to me, Group A is, super interesting. So I'm happy, actually, that FlyQuest is in this group. 100 Thieves, very beatable. Shopify and Dignitas should be cakewalks. To me, this is feeling like easy street, straight to that number 1 spot in Group B. How are you guys feeling about FlyQuest falling into second place at the end of the week and landing in Group B?
I'm disappointed, honestly. I don't want to be in this this group. I'd rather have Group A. Number 1 feels a bit more competitive. Number 2, would love to have that first place solidified right now. And then I think the biggest shame is just we won't be able to face Team Liquid until the playoffs, because I don't expect them to get first place in their group, given how things are currently going and the fact that they just lost to Disguised of all teams. And so, they're shooting for that 3rd place seeding match, meaning we won't get to play them until maybe even playoffs round 2. Who knows?
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't think it really mattered what group we fell into. I think
fair enough.
I think no matter what group we take, we end up taking first seed in that group, and then we get a nice playoff positioning.
Yeah.
I don't see. I mean, not to disrespect 100 Thieves, but I feel very confident. And yes, I know a lot of revisionists are going to go back and say, but they lost to them in the LTA Split 1 playoffs. Yeah, they did, and it was off of Sniper having an actually really, really good game and then completely falling off a freaking cliff. I don't really expect that to happen again. Oh, hi, buddy. Yes. Continue to take up the camera. So with that said, I'm not really worried about 100 Thieves, and then Shopify and Dignitas are both just whatever teams, man. The only thing I'm really concerned about is the best of 3 versus 100 Thieves. From there, yeah, there you go. Yes, there
you figured it out.
point is, I'm not worried about anyone in this group other than 100 Thieves, and even then, I feel confident that we can win that best of 3. I'm expecting this to be first seed. We'll be on the opposite side of Cloud9. I don't think Cloud9 is going to have any issues dealing with Team Liquid or Lion because they both look low. I think they both look rough right now too. I don't think Lion can really figure out how to solidify punching above a top 4 weight currently.
Yeah.
They're not a bad looking team, but I don't think they can make that leap yet, so to speak. And then Team Liquid looks like they're an absolute just downfall. But I think honestly, once Spawn comes back, because he should be back for playoffs, I think this team suddenly magically works itself out again because this man is a wonder coach. And then from there, I think it'll just kind of play itself out still.
No, I think that's fair. Yeah, I mean, I think for me, yeah, just in terms of like ease of seeding positioning, I'm happier to be in Group B. Just because I think it will be easier to get that number 1 spot. Like, yes, I hear what you're saying, Knox, about like, yeah, Liquid and Lion have like not been impressive of late. But I still feel like they're teams that could show up in best of 3s.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And like, you just need to lose one best of 3 for it to suddenly be an interesting situation. If you're Cloud9, right? And I think the same thing goes for FlyQuest as well. You lose to 100 Thieves, right? And all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, who's, are we getting that opportunity to, make the number 1 seed? Because, I mean, you do wind up playing the, it really, can, like, it determines these playoff brackets, which I think is, like, pretty important. Like, are you gonna wind up playing against 100 Thieves, or are you gonna wind up playing like who's looks pretty good, or are you gonna wind up playing against a struggling Team Liquid, or are you gonna wind up playing against like a Lion Gaming that can't beat a top 4 team? Or like, I know which one I would rather have out of those 3. So yeah, I think I agree that like ultimately which group we fall into doesn't matter. But I'm still happier to be in this group because I think it's better for FlyQuest in terms of positioning for later bracket stuff. We'll talk about FlyQuest specifically, but let's kind of like look around the LTA, the Dignitas disguised game from yesterday. It really was like that. It's another Simpsons meme I'm referencing tonight, but it's like the meme where it's like the 2 monkeys fighting on the boat, and everyone's like fight, standing around them, watching.
They got the bets going.
Yeah, they got the bets going. Yeah, like that's really what that felt like to me. Dignitas coming out on top, but then Disguised punching back, taking down Team Liquid today. Now I missed this game, so. Curly, sounds like you watched it.
Yeah, kinda.
Well, then you know more than me. I mean, like, what is going on with Team Liquid now? I mean, 4-3. Their losses were to us, Disguised, and Cloud9. I mean, Nox, it sounds like you felt like, this is lack of spawn diff, but like, is it lack of spawn, or is it just like the players are just struggling to be on the same page right now?
Oh, I mean, don't get me wrong. The players are definitely struggling to be on the same page.
Yeah, Curly, what do you think?
I mean, overall, it's there also just feels like a lack of energy over at Team Liquid. Like even when they win the interview yesterday with APA, I saw him win more like just an average game last year, and he would say a lot more during it and like in the post-game interview, and it was like a little bit entertaining and like energetic, or no matter what it was. But then yesterday it was just like, yeah, it's a game, this happened, yada yada, generic stuff. And so it's like even when they're winning, they're not really too hype about it. And then in today's game, I don't really remember what happened against C9 on Saturday, if I'm being honest, but in today's game it's like Disguised just kept bullying Impact. They had a little bit of a comeback for a little bit, and then Jan was not really showing up as much, and then like Disguised was Abbedagga. Actually, that's another big thing, is they let Abbedagga outperform, which is not something that you've really been seeing all split too much. I want to say he might have been deathless in the game today. Let me double check. Okay, he only died once, but he was actually looking really, really good. And so, like, yeah, something was going on because you have a team that hasn't shown up all split, a player that a lot of people are just kind of sleeping on, and then your oldest vet getting kind of shat on this whole time. And like normally it's like, all right, sacrifice top lane and you'll make it up anywhere else, like putting all the money into APA or Yon. And even then, that just wasn't enough today.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting. Books could be written about the struggles of Team Liquid. I feel like just to be consistent, and I think that's all I really want to see from this team. Like,
you could make a documentary about it or something.
Really? That's an interesting concept there. Yeah, I just feel like the one thing I would want from a team like Team Liquid is consistency. Just like game after game, split over split. And they were inconsistent in split 1, pulled it together in Brazil, and they've been incredibly inconsistent here in split 2. Would I be shocked to see them get their stuff together for groups and playoffs? No, I wouldn't. But it almost would be a little disappointing. Like, this is a team that is so talented that it's like, you guys gotta get this figured out before, it's like crunch time, So that's Liquid. Cloud9 has been looking dominant. They've looked really good these last few weeks. I feel like right now they are probably for me, they're like favorites right next to FlyQuest right now.
Yeah, I would say they're definitely going to be the finalists along with us currently.
Oh yeah, big threat. Big threat.
C9 Fly probably in the front running for favorites. I expect them to dominate their group, right? They'll probably go 3-0 in that one. I think the interesting question for me right now is, I think we can probably discount Disguised, right? Probably count them out. Team Liquid and Lion. Team Liquid and Lion. Who you guys got? Like, that's going to be an interesting best of 3. Winner probably, battles for the 3-4 seed with the team from Group B. So, like, where are you guys leaning on this? Lion, of course, did not beat a top 4 team. Did look good in some of those games. It was more like they just struggled to, like, close things out. Like, they could punch back early game, but struggled to close things out. Except for the Cloud9 game today, but Cloud9 is just on another level. So I don't know. I think it's an interesting question. TL lost to us, Cloud9 and Disguised. So there are some question marks there. Curly, where are you landing on this Team Liquid versus Lion fence right now?
I still am leaning Team Liquid a little bit. Like, as much as I'm giving them shit for what happened today, I will also say North America as a region is far from free from outlier games like this. In fact, I want to say they're a staple of the region where the number 1 team, maybe even top 2 team, for whatever reason, don't show up against the bottom team. If you didn't have that, we wouldn't have Immortals and Dignitas getting like wins last year or the previous years. That's how they get things sometimes. Hell, even back under the previous era of our org, we were kind of that team that was like, hey, we're happy to be here, kind of at the bottom of the standings, but hey, for whatever reason, we took out the first place team. So I still think at the end of the day, Team Liquid does have that edge on Lion. And so I am definitely more in favor of them. But if they don't shore it up, Lion can certainly take advantage of that.
Yeah, I'm siding with Curly here on this one. Like, Lion has the potential, and I will be very curious how they do in summer once they have even more time to continue to gel together. but I just don't think they have the juice in them to cross that line. Actually, and who knows maybe what they can do in playoffs, but I just don't think they've had the time quite yet, to punch through into that top four. So, you know what? I'll throw them a bone. I'll give them a game. I think they can take a game off of TL, especially in the form that TL's in right now. But overall, I would say TL should still take the series overall.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think TL's probably going to get their stuff together, figure it out, and probably will still lose to Cloud9, but I don't see them beating Cloud9. I don't see them like succeeding in that group much more than second place. Maybe we can I don't know. I kind of want to talk about Disguised.
Yeah.
Like almost in like a premature in memoriam. But I don't know. I don't even know what to say about this team because they deserve a shout out. They beat Liquid today.
They did.
But yeah, I'm not sure, what there really is to say about them. I mean, Nox, what do you think? This is clearly a team that is struggling to figure it out.
Yeah, I would say if you replicated this match versus TL today, they would still end up losing probably 90% of the games they play against them, right? This is they hit the 1 in 10 or the 1 in 10 basically. So I mean, it happens. Congrats to them. It was a legitimately earned victory. I don't think they're going to replicate it. So
I love
I really don't know.
It's so such a scientific way of saying it. It was a legitimately earned victory.
I just try and keep it as based as possible, and I don't mean based in the ego sense. I mean hey, this it's based off of actual facts. Let's keep it a buck. They're not doing well in scrims. They're not doing well on stage.
Yeah.
They got their 1 out of 10. Congratulations, you deserve it. Sure. There wasn't anything stupid that TL did to just toss it over to them. It was a legit game.
Based in toast build. So yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Curly, any thoughts on Disguise before we move back over to FlyQuest?
I mean, I said it before the show. It's not a team that I really want to count out yet as a whole. The organization is still growing. I do think they actually have some decent players because, I mean, Abadaga's literally won the league before. He's won the league before. XU and Scary Jerry are kind of, I want to say, probably the biggest potential outliers here because they're still up and coming. I don't know if you can call XU as up and coming anymore. He's been around a little bit, but still on the younger side, getting his footing to me.
Yeah.
And so it's when you kind of got a team like that, it's the fact that they were able to pull off the win today, I will give them their kudos. And I'm hoping that proceeding through the summer, they can try to continue growing and really put up some contention because I think the org has a good potential to add value to the league in the long run.
Yeah. No, I agree with that for sure. All right, let's move over to FlyQuest. So in a group with 100 Thieves, Shopify, and Dignitas. I think really the only question here is going to be between FlyQuest and 100 Thieves. And then the other question, I guess, is I want to see some Shopify Dignitas. I think that's a fascinating matchup, frankly. Who gets to go into loser's bracket as the 5 or 6 team? Yeah, I think probably the 6 team because they'll probably play Lion and then get beat. So, yeah, I mean, what's really frustrating about a lot of these matchups is just so many of them. Every single... except for Disguised beating Team Liquid, every single top 4 versus bottom 4 matchup went to chalk.
Yep.
It based off of power rankings alone, top 4 teams 15-1 against bottom 4 teams, and that that to me is so disappointing. Actually,
it's Korea versus North America Worlds all over again.
There is a gap. The gap is not closing between the top 4 and bottom 4. It's bad. Yeah. All right. So FlyQuest 100 Thieves, Shopify Dig. All right. Shopify Dig. Who you guys got in this one? Like the rebel in me kind of wants to say Dig, and but they do not look good, man. They really don't look good. I think it's still got to be Shopify there, right?
I don't know, man. I feel like that's a toss up on the day. I really.
Yeah, does Palafox?
It's really hard to say.
Does Palafox?
It's really hard to say.
Like
I'm gonna keep my bias for Demonte here. I'm gonna say, hopefully, that he's just getting the ball rolling and that it actually starts to pick up come in the group stage. Especially now that it's best of threes, so you can always do a bounce back with what you just learned in game one.
Right.
Whereas that's the downside of best ones. Like, all right, lost a game, get ready for tomorrow. Or yeah. So I'm hopeful for Shopify here. Yeah.
Hopeful is a strong word in my opinion. I'm just going to flip a coin on the day, if I'm being honest. I don't have faith in either of these teams. The one positive I will say is I think B-Boys continue to look like a really solid AD carry, and if roster moves are going to be made in the coming offseason, I really hope B-Boy actually finds a legitimate team going forward. I don't know what team you would even go to. I think pretty much. I mean, there may be a world B-Boys an import is the problem, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can't even go to Cloud9 because I'm like you could replace Sven in my opinion because I don't think Sven's been all that amazing. You're not placing Masu. I think FBI you could maybe replace, but FBI's been performing at a somewhat respectable level. And then I would say Yeon's still like the best AD carry in the league along with Masu, so you're not replacing him either. So it's just I don't even know where you put B-Boy, right? So yeah, side tangent aside, I'm flipping a coin, man. I don't know which of these teams is cutting it out for the rest of the split and which one's making the lower bracket to get 0-3'd by whoever drops down to the top bracket.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I totally agree. It's still only a top 4 world for LTA. So let's move to the top 4. FlyQuest 100 Thieves. I don't think the schedule is out yet. I'm going to double check that right now, but I don't think they've put the schedule. So who knows?
I haven't seen it because I was trying to work on the pickings. Is it on?
It's not. No, it's not, not anywhere quite yet that I've seen either.
I'm not seeing it. They just have the best of ones up right now. So they probably haven't figured it out. But whenever this 100 Thieves matchup comes up, I do think it's going to be interesting. Obviously, they beat us in a best of 3 back in split 1. We took game 1. They reverse swept it. So I think like this is a team that for me, I'm legitimately concerned about. I think they have some really good players on here. Quid is very, very good. We know this. Sniper has kind of risen up. FBI I think is really good. River is always like a force to be reckoned with. Ayla's been like pretty stellar on support. So like this whole roster I think is legitimate. And like frankly right now I'm ranking them over Team Liquid just based off of performance. So like
hey, so are the standings.
So are the standings. It's crazy how that works. So like I don't know. I want to get y'all's thoughts on this inevitable FlyQuest 100 Thieves matchup and how you think it tilts.
I will say I did hear on broadcast that the first matchup that FlyQuest has is versus 100 Thieves.
Oh, okay.
So
wow.
that will be the match next week. I don't know the rest of the schedule or the ordering, but that at least for next week, that is who we're playing first.
Yeah.
My guess is because we're Group B will be on Sunday, unless they do like 2 from Group A. Well, no, because then that would be.
I think because every team's still going to play. I think it's just going to be based off of who they can get the biggest audiences on. I don't think it's going to be like, hey, Group A, or it could be Group A, Group B. It just depends on.
All right, because it's going to be. Okay, yeah, I'm silly. Actually, no, the schedule doesn't make much sense to me. Because if it's. You'll
have 2 best of 3s each day: Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, and then you'll repeat.
Oh. I forgot we were back in best of 3, even though I just talked about it, because I was like, how do you schedule out the best of 1s over the course of 3 weeks with the amount of the All right. Anyway.
Yeah. At least for the matchup, I think in general, 100 Thieves still has some issues revolving around how to use Sniper and like the solo lanes a little bit. Like he's still strong, he can absolutely still solo kill, and I need Bwipo to actually put some respect on him, even though as much as he loves to be cocky and put him in his place and be like, oh yes, my son, he's still bopped you a couple times, dude. Like please respect him a little bit.
It's true.
Son is learning to fight back.
I will also say the past couple times that they've played, River has done a fantastic job of really punishing Inspired. He's been very aggressive in the early game, invading the jungle early, making FlyQuest lanes have to react to like the pressure that's being put on Inspired, so Inspired can keep up his normal pathing that he likes to do all the time. So that's something I want to really stress that people should keep an eye on and make sure that Inspired's not getting punished in the early game, because that's kind of what happened in LTA Split 1. With that said, though, I do want to give a shout out to Inspired because I feel like he switched his playstyle a little bit. He's still very farm heavy and has very like strict jungle pathing, but he's actually been a little bit more loose in when he's deciding to make visits to the lane, and he's actually getting a little bit, a couple more gang stop than he did in spring and even like last year as well. So with that said, I think Inspired's actually looking a little bit more adaptable than he has in the past. And so I think that actually bodes pretty well, especially versus this 100 Thieves team, which has notoriously been able to pick on FlyQuest because of how repetitive Inspired has been in his play style. So that I'm actually kind of looking forward to see how 100 Thieves adapts to that, because I don't think it's the same plug and play that they've been able to do in the past.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. That's some good points right there. Yeah, I think for me, where I land on this is I do think FlyQuest has the advantage. I do think they've looked stronger just in these best of ones. It was interesting today, Busio's interview, if you guys didn't catch it, post-win with Kangas. Kangas asked him, like, what has the team been working on? And Busio's answer was kind of interesting. He said that they're just focused on each person playing their own game. And not in a way that's like, okay, playing my own game to the detriment of everyone else, but like playing your own game in a way that you're not getting distracted by what's going on around you. So like get yourself ahead, do really well there, and then play out the game from that point on. And that's really interesting, because I wonder if like that has stemmed from too much over-indexing into, oh, we gotta help, gotta roam, gotta assist, gotta get the other guys ahead, like too much like unselfish play. And not saying that like, oh, we need to play selfishly, but like play your own game, play your own lane, beat your opponent, and then we'll go from there. Because it's like, okay, we have the hands, we can hand stiff everybody in lane, so let's start there, and then we'll teamwork our way through whatever situation we are in, post 10, post 15 minutes. So I thought that was really interesting. I think if they continue with that, I really do see this best of 3 with 100 Thieves being a solid win. Probably I will go with another 2-1 just to be safe, but yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. I guess we're kind of already doing predictions a little bit, so
yeah.
F it, rip it, 2-1. I'm also going 2-1.
Yeah,
2-1, sure thing.
Yeah. All right, and then let's kind of get. Yeah, we already talked Shopify Dig. We talked FlyQuest 100 Thieves. We don't have like the full standings, but I feel like we're all pretty aligned on it being like C9, TL, Lion, Disguised, FlyQuest 100 Thieves, Shopify Dignitas.
Yeah, it's just kind of going to keep the same as they already are.
Do you guys feel like this has been kind of boring?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you have a very massive gap, right? And this is kind of the issue going back to Worlds over all these years, right? Where it's the West can never compete against the East, outside of maybe the occasional team or two, or the occasional upset,
Yeah.
a la Disguise versus Team Liquid, or Lion looking decent in their games despite not being able to take
FlyQuest
one off
beating
of it in the top
Gen
four.
G, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So with all that said, I think it's just if we can actually get the bottom teams, and they can still be bottom teams, right? But they have to actually put up better fights than what they're putting up right now. Because right now,
They're just rolling
there's nothing
over.
really close. Yeah, there's nothing that's exciting to watch about this. So as we
Not
get
really,
further
no.
into the split, as we get more matchups against top teams versus top teams, and even to a certain extent, bottom teams versus bottom teams, because I mean those are still kind of fun to a certain extent, right? It'll be a little bit more enjoyable to watch. And then as we get into playoffs, that'll be even better because we get more best of fives. We get fearless. It's actually the quality teams playing each other. But yeah, going into split 3 though, I'm not looking very excited for it unless the teams really massively step up. And
Well,
so
what I am
normally,
excited for is that teams are going to get eliminated
and that's
every week.
exactly what I was about to get into.
And so then we don't have to deal with watching them anymore. That'll be nice.
Oof.
Normally, I am
Oof.
not a fan of that particular system of kicking a team out and being like, "Hey, you're done early." In cases like this, because the gap is so massive between these bottom teams versus the rest of the league, I actually don't mind it in this particular case. But it's very rare instances where the teams are like this massive a gap between the others that it's just like it feels bad, because then you have issues like LEC where they were eliminating teams. It's like, no, these like they're last place teams, but they're still putting up fights, man. Like I still want to watch them play. These have not really been entertaining at all, especially Disguise, with the exception of versus Team Liquid. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Curly, what do you think?
I guess there's not much more to be said because yeah, it's been a very boring split so far. Best of ones. Maybe by having these best of threes, things will spice up a little bit more. It'll give the lower tier teams a chance to actually potentially fight back and surprise us and make us be like, okay, there is competitiveness in this league. I'm banking on. I'm hoping that Lion and Shopify are the like harbingers of that. I would really love to see them punch up, even well, Lion can't do it against us, but particularly against like Team Liquid or even us. Like I would really like to actually have to work for our spot.
Mm-hmm.
And then come summer, I did just do a quick review of how that split 3 is even going to work. Kind of get it a little bit now, but I do see the elimination factor coming in, and yeah, it might actually be nice.
Yeah.
To kind of just stick to the actually more competitive teams.
No, for sure. Yeah, I think definitely need the other teams to step it up in a way. All right. Well, we predicted the 100 Thieves matchup. We're gonna do something a little spicy because I think we all know how we're feeling about it. Let's predict the other 2 matchups because we don't know what the schedule is gonna be. But we'll go ahead and predict them now, and then we'll revisit them each week as things go on. Maybe new information comes to light. Maybe Shopify or Dignitas upsets 100 Thieves some week, right? Or Shopify looks especially dominant over Dignitas. Who knows? I'm going to go ahead right now and say FlyQuest 2.0's both Dig and Shopify. Does anyone want to counter that and give either team a game?
Nah, I'll pass.
I'm all right. Yeah, I think I'm good here. Yeah.
No, that's a good take. I agree. All right. Well, that is pretty much it. We've predicted how the group phase is going to go. We've reviewed the past week. Did we want to talk about the games specifically, or did we just kind of want to move on towards wrapping it up?
I mean, unless y'all want to talk about the Cloud9 loss, I will admit I only watched the highlights for it, but I didn't really think it wasn't even a bad loss. Like the scoreline wasn't good, but like I don't even think it was that bad of a loss.
Yeah, is there any?
So the Cloud9 game for me,
Really?
yeah, the Cloud9 game for me it was just kind of similar to a game that had happened earlier in the day, where it was just kind of tense Everyone was kind of even. Like we were a little bit ahead, then C9 caught up to us, and then C9 was a little bit ahead, and then we caught up to them. And then there was one key breakout, and it was just over from there.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's just kind of the story of what you see from a long League of Legends game. It's like, all right, they take the little victories they can just to get them a little bit ahead. They play for late game, especially because FlyQuest for last 2 years has been running that scale mindset of approach in any game, because it's like, oh, all right, well, if you could just fatigue your opponent, play for late, get yourself super powerful by that, who cares what happened in the first 20 minutes?
Right.
And so unfortunately we just weren't able to pull it out from that one. And I call it to a little bit of unfortunate fighting. And just one thing I think FlyQuest needs to kind of get together is this play well on your own mindset is making them maybe individually better in some lane matchups and some other stuff, but it is definitely reflecting in the macro, because our macro is lacking from some previous forms. There are some calls in a good amount of our games this split that I'm like, how did we put ourselves in this position? Why did we keep doing this? Why didn't we do this? And so that's what I would want to really refine during this group stage before we get into playoffs and everything.
No, those are some good points. Yeah, I think for me, yeah, going into this group stage, what I do want to see is just really sticking to our knowns, to our good win conditions, and really just like I don't want to show too much in the group stage, right? Like I know we're getting into Fearless. Like so far, the first 2 games of Fearless are not really showing a lot. It may be the third game you'll start to show some things. I'd love it if we kind of stuck to the meta and didn't really like move outside of that. That would be my preference.
Got to save Nunu for Genji and Genji only.
Yeah, exactly. Nox, any things you want to see from the team going into group phase that might be different than positioning?
This kind of goes hand in hand with what you were saying, Sandy, about like maybe not wanting to show too much. But one little thing that I think I've kind of noticed over the course of like 3 different games or so is the Varus pick for Masu. Not that he's playing it badly, but it's the current meta right now with Vi and Azir still being in play, where these massive shuffles or like massive gap closers coming in. It makes it very hard for immobile carries like Varus to actually kind of play in proper positions. You can see, like, and you can even check the damage charts. I actually looked at Oracle's Elixir a little bit earlier, and Masu has still some of the highest damage for Varus this split than anyone else.
Nice.
But it's very, very hard to actually get kills and like sit there and actually pump away at the enemy team as a Varus right now. And so I guess I haven't minded it too much during the best of ones because these games don't really matter too much. I will be very curious to see if FlyQuest continues to prioritize it going into the Fearless stage, especially the best of 3s and the best of 5s when we hit the playoffs. Obviously, when you get to best of 5s, you're probably still going to have to whip it out because it's just you have to play an AD carry at that point. But it's been kind of worrisome to see, or not I don't know. I don't think I want to say worrisome, but it's something that I'm keeping my eye on right now because Masu's kind of been punished repeatedly so far this split playing this champion, even though he's very, very good at it. So I'll be curious to see how FlyQuest decides to prioritize it and if it's something that they want to really continue to focus on.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, you mentioned that, and I just remembered. I need a shift in ADC meta, bro. This Ezreal Varus is exhausting. It is so bland to watch that like neither of them are really that cool of champions. Like the coolest
I disagree. Ezreal, I love watching good Ezreal play.
Are you okay? Good Ezreal play, like when you have to really do it. Yes, it is very impressive. But like most of the Ezreal play I'm seeing right now is saving your blink to get away from a hard CC because you can. Like that, it's it's nothing aggressive, it's nothing impressive, it's just there. And then what do you do on Varus? All right, you drop the E to cut their armor, you poke them a little bit. Oh, they're running away. Hold on, let me charge a Q. Okay, they're dead. See you later. I shot my Chains of Corruption. Oh, I missed it. It's fine. My support also has a hard CC. I'm gonna charge my Q, and they're dead. Okay, it's just very bland. Like, give me give me ADCs that are fun. Give me Lucian when you're dashing in and all the time. Give me Jinx where you're literally on drugs running until you can't every time you get a kill. You know, like that is what I need. That is what I want to see from my ADC.
I understand what you're saying. I just like, I don't know. I love watching good Ezreal play, just pumping out damage in a team fight. Woo! I love it.
I can't appreciate that, but there's just not been moments where that level of play has been demanded this split so far.
That is fair. I think here's my favorite ADC moments. Ezreal's just slamming damage in a team fight. When a Tristana, and usually you only see this in solo queue, when a Tristana starts getting the W resets, and W way to a pentakill, that always feels so good to watch.
Absolutely.
And then I think my other favorite ADC moment, this is not like it's when a Caitlyn ulti, like somebody's like trying to run away after a team fight and the Caitlyn ulti snipes them down. That's just such a satisfying.
Ooh, yeah.
The other satisfying one is when the Ezreal ulti travels like halfway across the map and gets a kill. That's also a great moment.
Are you sure it's not Zeri Pentas? I thought everyone loved Zeri Pentas. Aren't Zeri Pentas the best?
Ah, yes, the most least contested
anyway, it's
legitimacy.
been a great show tonight. Nox, it's been great having you as a co-host, but you know, this is kind of where we take our
Are you sending me
lead.
back to Aggie Land to
Yeah,
back to the
You
cold?
know, Ronald McDonald, I've heard, has a lot of great opinions.
Just put the
on
fries in the
FlyQuest.
bag, bro. Put the fries in the bag.
All right.
I was making a throwback to the picture last week. I was, my
that's
God.
it, yeah.
Whoa, yeah, I'm saying the statue, dude. Relax. Oh my gosh.
Woo!
Woo!
Right. Well, I think that's
What is this, Twitter?
well,
Reddit?
uh,
Oh, jeez.
some days. All right, I think that's pretty much all we got. I do want to just point out, right now, you can tune into the Valorant America streams on YouTube and Twitch, and you can watch FlyQuest Red play. I did, while we were chatting, watch them take Map 1 versus Ghost on Icebox, and I believe they are moving on to Ascent. So they beat Ghost on Ghost's map pick of Icebox, and Ascent was FlyQuest Red's pick. So might have some advantage here. We're still in the Swiss stage. This is only the second round of Swiss. If they win, they will play one of Aussie and Friends, Shopify Rebellion Gold, and the winner of YFPX and TV. So that is kind of where things are at with them. But I think that's pretty much it, unless you guys have any final notes for us here.
Nothing with North, but I do gotta ask, what the hell happened down in LTA Seoul? Oh, but yeah, because like Isurus and Leviathan, who were the first and second seeds last split, are struggling. Like they are now, or so Leviathan is middle of the pack, but Isurus, they went 1-6, dude.
I don't know what it is about LTA, about like South teams like Brazil, LA. It always has felt like they are so inconsistent from split to split.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're always sending like a different team to international events.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't know what's going on there.
Mixer League's entertaining.
Right.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. They have not. Oh, my round 3 score did come in for.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know what my LTA fantasy is right now.
I should have swapped out Adilan and Hina because a bit of a struggle bus there. I just want my budget to get back close to 50. I didn't change my team at all during the season. That was probably a mistake. So.
Your round 3 came in? I don't have anything on my round 3.
No, it did not. Well, I can see what they scored in their individual games. I just don't have the final score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And math is hard. Don't want to do it yourself. Wait for the calculations.
I have the average scores. I just, Sad.
All right, we can wrap it up.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Well, on that note, thank you everyone for tuning in to another episode of Flight Check. Group stage starts this weekend, probably against 100 Thieves for FlyQuest. Don't know what time that is, but should be either Saturday or Sunday. You can follow us on Twitter for all of our reactions and thoughts to the scheduling and the match. You can catch the show at Flight Check Crew, myself at SantosDB, Knox at Knoxwar with 2 R's, and Curly at Curly_double_Q_. Make sure to hop into the Flight Check Discord as well. All kinds of esports discussion and otherwise taking place in there, including Pokemon Nuzlocke discussions, as I've been engaging in for the past day or two. If you missed any part of the episode, the VOD will be up on YouTube tonight or tomorrow morning. And if you're watching that and want to catch the show live, I've got great news for you. News of great joy and tidings of goodwill and peace towards all men. We broadcast the episode live pretty much every Monday night, usually at 8 p.m. Eastern Time right here at twitch.tv/FlightCheckCrew. Currently, any final notes, shoutouts, or plugs before we wrap up?
Shout out to Karma. Great for low elo climbing. That is all I have to say.
Banger. Knoxwar.
Yeah.
Shoutouts, plugs, what do you got?
Shout out to Noxcat for hanging out for about half the show. Then he dipped. So you know what? He's around here somewhere, but I'll bring him back for another episode at some point.
Shout out to the NBA and NHL playoffs starting.
Real. If only the Bruins were in it.
The Capitals are already doing well versus the Montreal Canadiens.
I need you to kick their asses for me, please.
It's 2-0 at the start of the third period for the Caps. OV scored a goal.
Word.
So.
Okay, I remembered something. Hashtag fire Nico. That's all. Leaving out that.
All right. Is this an F-I-R-E or F-Y-R-E?
F-I-R-E. Fire Nico.
Nico who?
Oh!
Fire Nico
Nico,
Harrison.
the Mavericks GM?
Yes. Fire the Mavericks.
Yeah, that
Fire Nico.
That press conference today was something else.
Yeah, it was bad. It was that guy needs to go, please, ASAP.
Out of touch. In a bad way. All right. Well, we're going to wrap up right there. Back next week to discuss the first week of group stage. So for now, stay safe out there and bite your teeth. Do not forget to hit the head on the nail. And we'll see you all very, very soon. Adios, everybody.
Have a good one, guys.
Peace, y'all.